A lot has happened in the last 4 episodes of the Redfield Central. This is its lore story. Well, so far. As we began in episode 1, the previous railroad after the flood decided to completely abandon the railroad. The damage was too great, and it didn't seem financially feasible to basically rebuild everything. So they filed for abandonment. The Redfield Central owner, Trainiac, decided that after many years of railroading, that he wanted a railroad of his own. So, with due time, he went through the proper channels and basically got approval to buy the railroad. Little did he know, this was going to be more of a daunting task than normal. About 50% of the railroad was damaged. The flood had did its toll. Damage was seen everywhere. But Trainiac saw potential. Little by little, and diligently, the railroad came back to life. Number 1 was pulled out of its watery grave and sent for repair. While number 2 did a lot of the work, trying to get the railroad back on its feet. And in due time, everything started to fall into place. The railroad started coming back, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. The communities took note. The railroad started getting customers again. In a matter of a couple of months, the Redfield Central had started acquiring more rolling stock, and traffic was indeed coming back to the railroad. Number 1 was back in service, but there were a couple mishaps. As always with the startup company, the number 2 had her own set of setbacks. She accidentally derailed on a curve and also had to get repaired. There were some other little accidents that occurred here and there. Switch wasn't thrown and a car derailed. But that's with learning through their strides. They managed to kind of get on their rhythm. More freight was coming to the Redfield Central, more trackage, more cars, and it was decided to continue on their way to Bryson. As of this moment, the bridge is currently being rebuilt. A new locomotive was added to the fleet, a former 280 that had been sitting in a deadline for years. She came from a railroad named the Ma and Pa. More about her later. The railroad started to begin looking for a corporate look, and they found one. The Redfield Central decided on a dark green in inspiration from the predecessor railroad. The railroad gave the number 2 a nice classy green boiler jacket with a nice equally complimentary yellow lettering, kind of like a goldenrod. It looks pretty good. The railroad also has an image that it can put its face behind. An image of the river that once thought the railroad's doom was put on an emblem, with the proud words of Redfield Central on the green banner. The railroad also decided that for their corporate color, green, because everything needs to be green, needs to be on everything. So, rolling stock, passenger cars, the whole 9 yards got green. Complement the green, the Redfield Central decided on 2 colors of lettering. One looked like a dark goldenrod yellow, and the other was a nice classy white. The railroad had its identity, and it had its look. And over time, the railroad was starting to achieve the goals that it had set forth to accomplish. But it seems like, even through all this uncertainty, this little railroad is in fact coming back from the ashes. What we're doing is we're basically shoving the cars forward that we need to shove forward, get them on the main, and we're going to take the log cars and go to the logging area. That's essentially what we're doing right now.
And we're going to bring him back. It's a pretty looking choo-choo. I like the color scheme. And that's, some people are like, well, that's a Rio Grande. No, I mean, it may, kinda, but to me, I wasn't going for a Rio Grande scheme. I just kind of like the green and the lining and all that. It looks good, in my opinion. So... some of these aren't even oiled. Have to fix that later. Now, we should have 3 cars to L3. Is that supposed to go to L3? Because each car is supposed to... Each track is supposed to have 3 log cars, is how I've done this. So... I guess we're going to load L1 first. Then we'll load L2. And then we'll load L1. So, I guess we're going to go all the way to the end and come back. It's, I guess, what it's...
And it's encouraged that maybe you come back and kind of see what's going to happen next. A massive shout out to the WNCRR for actually inspiring me to make this lore video. It's with some of their videos on the EF&A that made me kind of want to do my first lore video of the Redfield Central. I had a lot of fun making this. In fact, I made a funny little short that you guys will see in the future that I think turned out really good. So if you definitely like this video, please give it a like, please give it a follow. I hope to make more videos like this in the future. I'm kind of back into making content. I know I've been gone for a hot minute, so I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. But yeah, that's kind of the story on the Redfield Central so far.